Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I had asked you guys a few weeks ago to leave me your questions because I was going to be filming this. So today I'm just going to be answering all of the questions that I wrote down that you guys have asked me over the past few weeks. And I'm going to do my makeup, but I'm not really focusing on the makeup. In the video, it's more about the questions. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you're new here, my name is Blair. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I do all kinds of makeup and beauty content, high-end and drugstore here on my channel. I hope you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into the Q&A. We're gonna get started. I am probably not gonna talk too much about the products that I'm using. I'll try to say what I'm using as we go, but if I don't mention it, it'll be listed in my description box. So we'll go ahead and start with question number one. This is an easy one. How old are you? I am 29. I just turned 29 last month in September. So I'm in my last year of my 20s. As my husband very sweetly pointed out when I turned 29. He is actually a little older than me. He's 32, so he's already in his 30s. Next question is, what are your favorite foods or snacks? Okay, number one, my favorite food is a cookie. Really any kind of cookies, but chocolate chip cookies are my favorite, but I have never seen a cookie ever really that I didn't like. So cookies are my absolute favorite food. Other foods that I love, tacos. I'm a very big taco person, especially during certain times of the month, if you know what I mean. I love chips and salsa. I love chips in general. Chips, crackers, anything like that. Let's see, what else do I really like? My favorite meal, I guess, like dinner meal is actually salmon. I love salmon. Let's see, what else do I love? In terms of foods that I love, but I try not to eat them. We try to eat pretty healthy, but we do eat stuff that's not the best for you sometimes. But I love pizza. Pizza, I don't eat it that often, but it's one of my favorite foods. Ooh, okay, one more thing. I love Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A very much. Chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A, well done. If you ever had chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A and asked for them well done, let me know in the comments. But I like them even when they're not well done, but I love it when they're like crispy and crunchy on the outside. It's one of my favorite things. Also, Chick-fil-A breakfast. Oh my gosh, like a chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. I don't eat those often, but I love them. Actually, on my birthday this year, I went the morning of my birthday and got myself a chicken biscuit because I do love them, but I try not to eat them that often because they're not that healthy, but I do love them. Next question is a product you don't leave home without. So I'm assuming this is supposed to be like a makeup product I don't leave home without, but there's one thing I never leave home without, truly. It's not makeup related, but it's kind of a joke in my family that I never leave home without my water. It's usually like this big cup, or I have a Swell bottle that I'll take, or just a regular like drinking cup. I am somebody who always has to have a drink with me. Well, not really a drink, but I have to have water with me at all times. Even at night, like before I go to bed, I will not go to bed without a cup of water next to the bed. I don't know what it is. I just always feel like I need to have water with me, and I feel very anxious if I don't have it. Everyone that knows me well knows that if you are in our house or in my car or anything, there's always just random cups everywhere, and they're all my cups because I just always have a cup with me. I also like to collect cups. Like I love tumblers, coffee mugs, like all that kind of stuff. So I'm never without a cup of some kind with some water. And as far as beauty products, this is kind of weird because I love makeup, but I actually don't travel with a lot of makeup products like in my purse. As weird as that probably sounds. The only thing that I always have in my purse is a lip product of some kind. So like chapstick, Aquaphor. Usually it's some type, it's not really a lipstick normally or a lip gloss. It's usually like a lip balm with a little bit of color in it. Like right now I have the Summer Fridays lip balm, the newer one in the tinted version. That's what I have in my purse right now. But other than that, I don't carry a ton of makeup in my purse with me. And I think that's kind of strange because I know a lot of people carry like touch-up products with them. I have just never really been like that. Honestly, don't really touch up my makeup throughout the day. I guess I don't know why I don't. I just don't really carry makeup products with me other than a lip product of some kind and always my water. All right, this next question is very stressful just thinking about it, but it's if you could only spend $40 on makeup, what would you buy? Okay, I don't even know how to answer that question. I guess I'm just gonna answer it from like, what are my things I must have, like have to buy if I could only spend so much on makeup? Gosh, I feel like I could probably do a whole video about this, to be honest, but I would for sure buy a brow product of some kind because I think brows are very important. I probably would not be buying my Patrick Ta brow wax because I think it's like $30 on its own or close to it. But I would buy like the e.l.f. Wow Brow or probably e.l.f. Wow Brow because that's only, I think it's only $4, $5 maybe. And then I would buy a mascara. I would probably buy the CoverGirl Lash Blast mascara. That's one of my favorites of all time. Let's see, what else would I buy? Oh, I would definitely buy a corrector because y'all know I don't ever not use a corrector. I don't know which one because my absolute favorite is Bobbi Brown, but I think the Bobbi Brown corrector is like $30. So there's 30 of my $40 right there. Yeah, this is a really hard question. I guess I would buy probably right now the most affordable corrector product that I really love is the Milani eye tint. I think that's like $7 or $8. And for foundation, honestly, if I'm trying to spend as little as possible, I would probably buy my Physicians Formula. Or no, you know what? I was gonna say my Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. I do love that one, but honestly, if I was trying to buy a drugstore product that's really affordable that I love, it would be this right now. This Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I'm obsessed with this. This is so good, and it's $4.99, $5.99. So yeah, probably do that Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, e.l.f. Wow Brow, Milani Under Eye Corrector, and CoverGirl Mascara. Those would be my 4 things. That would probably be about $40. For my foundation, I'm actually gonna mix 2 things again today. I've been all about the mixing lately, so I'm gonna mix Armani Luminous Silk in shade number 4 with a little bit of Dior Backstage Face and Body in 1.5 neutral. I've never mixed these two, so I have no idea how this is gonna work, but oh well. Okay, so the next question, and this one kind of have to think about for a minute too. It's if you had to pick one beauty brand for a full face of makeup, a drugstore and a high-end brand, which ones would they be? Okay, high-end, honestly, it's a tie between two. I was originally gonna say Charlotte Tilbury because I love Charlotte Tilbury. If you're new here, that's like one of my favorite brands of all time for sure. But there's another high-end brand that I love so much, and that is Dior. If you'd asked me this like a year ago, I definitely would have said Charlotte Tilbury, but I have so many products that I love from Dior. Honestly, I'd probably have to go with Dior for a full face because I love Dior foundation and concealer. And what I will say about Charlotte Tilbury, the brand, is I love the brand, but I don't love her concealer for a few reasons. It's not my favorite concealer just looks-wise on your face, but I also hate the packaging of it. In fact, I got rid of mine because, well, they were old, number one, and number two, the packaging is just horrible on those. And the Dior concealer is one of my favorites. I actually have it right here. So for high end, I think I would have to go for Dior. Charlotte Tilbury would be number 2. And then in terms of drugstore, again, I kind of have 2 that I'm thinking of. Honestly, think I would go with e.l.f. I feel like I have used and love the most e.l.f. products, and I feel like I just feel like they're one of the best drugstore makeup brands, to be honest. My second choice would probably be Milani. I love Milani too, but yeah, I think I would go with e.l.f. I just love so many of their products. I love their concealer. I actually really like the e.l.f. foundation, not the CC cream, the, what is it called? Flawless Face or Flawless Finish. It's in like a little tiny square shaped bottle. I actually really love that foundation. I used to have it, and it's a really good one. They have good bronzer, e.l.f. They have good blush. They have good brow products. Yeah, so I think I would have to go with e.l.f. All right, next question. This is a good one. I kind of feel like I have to kind of think about my answer to this, but it's, how do you motivate yourself and what do you do when you feel overwhelmed? I am definitely someone that gets, I would say, anxious about things really easily. And I've always kind of been like that. Or I feel like I've gotten better as I get older at managing that. But for me, this is definitely going to vary just based on the person. But for me, when I feel overwhelmed, I need to be by myself. I need alone time, as strange as that sounds. I am definitely someone that I sometimes really, really crave just being by myself. And I feel like that's kind of an underrated thing sometimes. I feel like, especially with social media and people constantly sharing things online and showing you like what they're doing every single second of their day and all that. I feel like no one really talks about just taking some time to be with yourself, as weird as that may sound. I am definitely that kind of person though. When I feel sad, overwhelmed, stressed, for whatever reason, I will a lot of times just get in the car and go somewhere, like, or just sit alone somewhere. Actually, a lot of times I come up here and sit in my office. I don't know what it is about that, but when I feel just like overwhelmed and very, very stressed out, that almost always will kind of help me. And I feel like that's something that has not changed about me at all. I've always kind of been like that, where when I'm in a mood or just not in a really good like headspace, I need some alone time. And almost always, it doesn't fix everything, but I almost always feel better if I just have a little bit of time to myself. And I know not everyone really craves that, but I am definitely someone that sometimes I just want to be alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to go out and do anything. I just like want to hang out at home and sit in the quiet by myself, as weird as that may sound, but that's just the kind of person I am. So the next part of this question was, how do you heal yourself from wounds or things that have happened, I guess, in your life? And I don't know that I have like the perfect answer for this, other than I kind of talked about this in my Simply Be You video, where I talked about why I say that in my videos. And I'll link that video for you if you haven't seen it. But basically, I kind of went through a time in my life when I was younger where I felt like there was something wrong with the way that I was, because I was not really like everyone else. Everyone at my school, at least. And I feel like it's taken me 29 years to kind of feel like I've, I guess, healed myself from that. And I don't know that you ever actually heal yourself, but you kind of, I guess you learn from things. And as I've gotten older, I am 100% okay with myself exactly how I am, if that makes sense. I don't wish that I was like another way, or like I mentioned in my other video, I'm definitely more of a quiet person. I'm not super outgoing, and I'm a pretty shy person actually. And when I was younger, I feel like I constantly kind of saw that as a negative thing about myself, and it's not. And as I've gotten older, I feel the opposite about it. I feel like it's actually something I really like about myself. So I guess this isn't really answering the question, I guess, but just accepting yourself for exactly how you are, and know that you were supposed to be the way that you are, not how someone else wants you to be, if that makes sense. Moving on to the next question, what are your favorite perfumes or notes in perfumes? So I had mentioned in a few videos back, I actually did my very first sponsored video with Dossier, and the perfume I've been using pretty consistently, I would say, over the last few weeks is the Dossier Woody Sage. So the notes in here say fig tree, grapefruit, ambrette, sage, and amberwood. So this is supposed to be inspired by Jo Malone, wood sage and sea salt, and it truly smells like that one. It really does. It's more of a woody, almost kind of masculine scent. I kind of like more masculine fragrances a lot of the times. I mean, I like floral scents too sometimes. I really like lavender. Let's see what else I really like. Another perfume that I love a lot that I wear is Juliet Has a Gun. The one that's the original one that says not a perfume. And honestly, that's the most interesting fragrance I think I've ever used. It does not smell like anything else, but I love it for some reason. Oh, and then there's one other that I really love. This is by Way, and so Way is a hair brand, if you're not familiar, but all of their hair products have a smell, and the smell to me is fantastic. I don't even know what it smells like, but it smells so good to me. It's so clean and fresh. That one's not super masculine, but I actually tried the hair products and I loved the fragrance, the smell of the hair products, and then they ended up coming out with the perfume, and I bought the perfume and I love it. This is the North Bondi is the name of it. Oh, it smells so good. I wear that a lot too. I definitely switch up my fragrances depending on like the time of year. Right now I like more of the clean, woodsy kind of smells, and then when it's warmer, like in the summer and the spring, that's when, if I'm gonna use like something floral or something kind of beachy, that's when I kind of go to those scents. Next, do I play any instruments? No, I don't. When I was in middle school, let's see. Yeah, middle school, I took piano lessons for, I don't even remember how long it was. It wasn't very long. I did not continue. I was not good at it because I did not practice. I kind of went through a phase where I was fascinated with people that could play the piano, and that's why I started taking piano lessons, and I literally never practiced. But that's the only instrument that I've ever attempted to play. But no, I do not play an instrument. And then do you have other hobbies, interests besides makeup? So makeup is definitely my main hobby or interest. I have other things that I like too. Makeup is definitely the main one. I love doing makeup on myself, obviously, but I love to watch makeup artists do makeup on other people. I could watch that kind of stuff for hours. Like on Instagram or YouTube, I constantly watch makeup videos. I just love to watch people do it. I think it's so fascinating. But in terms of things besides makeup that I really like, I'm actually kind of into, I kind of hesitate to say like health and fitness, but I am kind of interested in that kind of stuff. Not that I'm like a gym buff or anything, although I have been going to the gym more regularly lately. My husband is, he is very fitness oriented. He goes to the gym religiously, so I have joined our gym and I am going with him. But I actually really like just learning about health, fitness, that kind of stuff. I love, actually, this is interesting. So at one point in college, I was a nursing major. I thought there for a little bit I was going to be a nurse. That did not come to fruition because I realized that just was not going to be for me. But one of the only classes I took that I loved actually when I was in the nursing program was nutrition. I love to learn about like food and just how your body works and all that kind of stuff. I love things like that. So I guess that's another one of my hobbies. And then something else I really like is interior design. In the first house that we lived in, I kind of got really into housey things. Like when you move into your first house, you know, you get really excited about moving and decorating and stuff like that. That's when I kind of got into, or really realized I like interior design. I love to watch HGTV, House Hunters. I love that kind of stuff. Fixer Upper. even though I don't think that comes on anymore with new episodes, but I love to watch that kind of stuff. Yeah, those are my main hobbies, and then I just like, honestly, I don't know if you'd consider this a hobby, but I kind of talked about this earlier. I really like to spend time by myself. And I consider that a hobby because to me, that's like how I refuel myself. As weird as that sounds, I almost always can tell when I'm reaching that point where I like need to just leave the house and like go to Target or just sit somewhere by myself and watch YouTube or whatever I'm doing. Sometimes I just will come in here and like open up my makeup drawers and like just look at my palettes and stuff like that. And that's kind of when I get ideas for videos and things like that. But honestly, kind of consider my alone time a hobby because I feel like alone time is a very underrated thing in the world today. Next question is, do you have siblings? And yes, I do. I have a younger brother. His name is Brooks. Yeah, he lives about 20 minutes from us, so we are able to see him pretty frequently, which I love. We've always been really close. He may appear in a video at some point, I don't know. But yes, I do have one younger brother. He is 27. And then let's see, did you go to college? Yes, I did. I went to the University of South Carolina for my first 2 years of college. That is when I had the idea that I was going to be I was either going to be a nurse or I was going to be a teacher. Most of my life, I thought I was going to be a teacher. That's what I would always tell people when they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. It was always a teacher. And then I went to college and I started obviously taking some education type classes and wasn't really a fan, and decided to switch to nursing. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure why I did that because that's not something I've ever been interested in personally, like as a career, but I think it was just, I was young, obviously, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. And there's so many people, you know, saying how great of a career nursing is. So I'm like, okay, I'll be a nurse. No, wasn't for me. I really admire people that are nurses. I think that's such a great profession, but it just was not for me. But I went back and forth. The 2 years I was there, I went from education to nursing, then back to education, then back to nursing, and realized neither one of those things were right. And in that time when I was there, I met Chris, and Chris is my husband. And my family at that time moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where NC State is, North Carolina State University. And I wanted to be near my family, so I actually transferred to NC State, and I was in they call it textiles program there, but it's basically, there's a lot of different things. You could do like brand management, marketing. You could do more of like the textile side, which is like how fabric is made, how it's constructed, the chemistry behind it, all that kind of stuff. But I did brand management and marketing. And so that's where I graduated from, NC State, and my degree is brand management and marketing, which honestly, that's the closest thing that I guess kind of aligns with what I'm interested in. So, I mean, I was happy with that major, but honestly, if I could go back, if I think about it now, I probably would not have gone to a 4-year college. I would go to like cosmetology school or something, but I didn't really realize until later, really when I was at NC State in college, how much I loved makeup. I wish I had realized it earlier because who knows, I don't know what I would have done, but I definitely don't know that I would have gone to a 4-year college if I knew my true passion was makeup. Okay, not sure where I left off, but I could not talk and do this wing situation. It was just too much for me. I have to concentrate when I do my wings. But I believe the last question I was about to answer was, how do you relax in front of the camera? And honestly, I do not know. I truly don't know, you guys. I think I said earlier, it took me a while. I talked about starting a YouTube channel, thought about starting a YouTube channel for quite a while before I actually did it. And then once I started and I filmed my first video, it was the strangest thing. It was not hard for me to do. I didn't feel uncomfortable, really. I mean, I was definitely a little uncomfortable. I've definitely come a long way since I started. I don't know, it's really weird, but when I turn the camera on, it almost calms me. It's the strangest thing because I am not a super loud, outgoing kind of person, but for some reason, when I film videos, I'm just totally relaxed. And I wish I knew why. I truly, truly don't, other than it's something that I genuinely love doing, and I don't know. It just comes naturally to me. It doesn't feel forced ever. It's just something that feels like what I'm supposed to be doing. I also think that if I had attempted to start a YouTube channel when I was younger, like first starting college age, I don't know that it would have come that easily to me. I think that's kind of come with what I was talking about earlier, just loving yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. And I feel like because I started when I was in like my later 20s, I was kind of at a point where I was more comfortable with who I am, and maybe that's kind of why I'm able to film videos and not really stress about it or feel weird about it. I don't know. It's very strange, but it's kind of like a form of therapy for me, honestly. I'm just so grateful that I did start this channel, and it's just one of my favorite parts of my life now. There was also a question about my skin type. So my skin is, I would say, I think it's pretty normal. I'm not super oily and I'm not super dry. The only thing is my skin is very sensitive and it gets irritated very, very easily. So I definitely have sensitive skin. But in terms of like dryness or oiliness, I'm not really either. I can get a little bit oily, like in my T-zone if I'm outside and I'm sweating a good bit. I definitely can get a little oily there, but other than that, I would say my skin is pretty normal. I know a lot of you have asked for a skincare routine, and I will do one eventually. Honestly, been kind of hesitant about doing skincare videos because just from watching other channels on YouTube, a lot of times, for some reason, skincare seems to be a very polarizing topic. There's like people that believe in medical grade skincare, people that only want to use drugstore, people that mix things, and there's just so many different brands and opinions and things about skincare. I've always been kind of hesitant to talk about it, but I am going to do it. It'll probably be this month at some point. I just don't know when. So I just lined my lips, and you guys, I got this little mini Tom Ford lipstick in an order from Neiman Marcus. This was like a free gift, I guess. And I just have to swatch this to show it to you. It is the prettiest red. So cute. So the color is Scarlet Rouge, number 16. I don't know if this is like a permanent color or if this was just like for the free gift, but I think I'm gonna attempt to use this today. Whenever I do like a red lip, I like to line my lips with something pretty neutral first. I just find that works the best for me when I use a brighter lip color like this. But my last question was this: what is your definition of beauty? And I want to end with this question because I love this question. Okay, my definition of beauty is kind of what I've talked about before, and it's loving yourself exactly how you are and not apologizing for it. That is, to me, true beauty, and it sounds simple, but it's really not. I feel like that is what a lot of people struggle with, especially in the age of social media. You constantly kind of compare yourself to people, and you kind of compare your life to other people's just based on what you see online, and you compare your looks to other people and all that kind of stuff. So to me, true beauty is finding things that you love about yourself, the positive things about yourself, and loving those things and not trying to change for anybody, not apologizing for it, just being who you are. To me, that's the most beautiful thing in life. And I feel like I'm starting at this point, almost 30, to be at that point where I do love myself for exactly how I am, and I wouldn't change anything about myself. And I also feel like when you love yourself, you're a nicer person in general. If you think about it, a lot of things you see on social media, people leave, hateful comments. People leave hateful comments on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. And those people are not happy with themselves, is the truth. And that's why they leave comments like that, because they're not happy with themselves. And I think that for a lot of people makes them feel better trying to upset or put down someone else. So that's another reason why I think loving yourself and accepting yourself is my definition of true beauty. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this Q&A was kind of all over the place. I didn't plan these answers out. I just kind of thought about them and answered them as I did my makeup. So hopefully you enjoyed. I want to continue to do these Q&As on my channel. So anytime you have a question, comment it, DM me on Instagram, whatever you want to do. And I usually keep a list of them, and I'll just start doing these videos every now and then and answer all of your questions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will list and link everything I used down below for you guys. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm posting every single day in October here on YouTube. Also, go follow me on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair01. I'll see you in my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.